Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Ravi, Head Department of English, School of Basic and Applied Science, Maharaja Agrasian University. Today, I am going to talk about communication skills and process of communication. First of all, at the outset of my lecture, I would like to talk about outline of the presentation. There we will discuss about communication skills, objectives of communication skills, importance of communication skills, and the communication process. What is communication? Communication skills are the set of skills that enables a person to convey information so that the information can be received properly and understood. Communication is a process, that is two-way process. One is receiver and one is sender. Sender sends a message properly and receiver receives the message. Throughout this particular process, both interact to each other and there is a proper things are there. There is a message, there is a particular feedback, there is other thing as well. So here we will talk about the complete process. Before that, we will try to know what are the skills, means what are the communication skills. Skills in especially in English, or we can talk about in communication, that are four skills. They are reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And as we commonly knows very well, then what is the word means communication, that is also to share information, ideas, knowledge between a sender and a receiver. So it is a complete process. With the help of that, we try to communicate a particular message. So why we just focus on the communication skills in all the recent particular courses? Why it has become quite essential? The reason behind is its objectives. The objectives of communication are giving the information, precision, conveying the suggestions, advice, motivations, trainings, and etc. etc. So in these all these fields, if we talk about the gist of the particular life of a people, then they just want to something. So definitely these objectives are very essential, or these objectives are very important for a particular person or an organization as well. For achieving all that, this particular phase is being conducted. Now I will talk about the importance of communication. Communication, why it is so important? Because as we are quite aware that in the day-to-day life, in organization, in formal discussion, in informal discussion as well, each step of life is that is the need of communication. Communication has become a very important aspects of a human being. At the beginning, if we talk about someone, so you are being judged with the help of only because of your language. So that is very important. Either we talk about listening, speaking, writing, and all that. In through all these skills, you are going to perform your personality. Or if the communication is good from an individual, then definitely the individual is the asset of an organization. So if your communication is well, then definitely you are growing, your personality is grooming, and you are being a very good person judged by the others. Same manner, if we talk about the in organizational level, so you can see at the organization, if the communication process of an organization is well prepared, well organized, then definitely the reputation of that organization is very good. Now we talk about the basic things, the communication process. Communication process consists of a sender who encodes a message and transmits it through a channel to a receiver who decodes it and may give the feedback. Means there are certain points. First is message, a sender who create a message, and after creating a message, he try to send it to the receiver. So that is a particular process. The receiver receives and give the response. So through complete process, we will learn through one by one. So first, what happened? A sender has a message or message, so he tried to encode it. Encode means a set the particular message as a information as a message. So message is being encoded. Encoding is a process with the help of that a particular message is set and just prepared for the sending. After the encoding, a particular medium is being used and that medium is very important, because if you are selecting a right medium, then definitely you are achieving good or a proper way of communicating your message. Else what happen, if there is a noise, there is other problems, so definitely you will face a lot of problems. So selection of medium, either oral or other medium, means definitely you have to select that properly. Now what happened, receiver receives the message to the channel, and then he try to decode that message. After the decoding the message, he try to understand what is exactly in the message and what we are trying to just what we are understanding through the particular message. So receiver now become the sender. He just collect the all the information, he collect the understand the particular message and try to give the proper response. So again what happened, receiver prepared a message, and then after encoding process, he try use a medium and then revert back to the sender. Now sender become receiver and receiver become sender. So this is a process in which a complete message just run and just take a proper timing. Now we talk about the one by one. There is another diagram. You can see sender has an idea, sender encodes message, sender use the channel, carries the message, receiver decodes the message, receiver understands the message, and then the last stage, that is called feedback, travel to the sender. Means feedback is the key, or we can say a very important point in the process of communication. Why? Because if there is no feedback, that means there is no communication at all. Now we understand from the one by one. Step 1, the sender encodes the message and select the transmission channel. The message is the physical form of the encodes information which is transmitted through a particular channel. There is a primary communication channels are oral, non-verbal and written. So as I told you in the beginning that the channels are very important. If there is a noise, if there is a problem, if there is no proper channel we are using in the process of communication, so definitely your message will not reach as you wish or as you want. What happen exactly there arise a problem. So while you are communicating, you have to select a particular message in select a particular channel properly. Now use of an inappropriate channel can result in the missed communication. Definitely if there is no proper channel, that definitely you are going to just face a lot of problems. Now we talk about the second point, the sender transmit the message. Noise factor during the transmission of a message can disturb or confuse the receiver. To overcome noise, consider the physical surroundings before transmitting the message. What happens exactly? Suppose you are taking a class or you are in a lecture. So definitely you have to take care about the surroundings where you are speaking. So what happen exactly? Physical atmosphere is required, because if there is physical noise surrounding your classroom, then definitely you will not be just concentrate to talk about that. So the most important thing is that whenever you are just trying to communicate physically or orally, then definitely you have to ensure that where you are speaking, where you are just going to give a particular lecture, the place is vacant, the place is comfortable for the receivers or the student, and they are able to listen you properly without any physical restrictions, comfortable of their sittings and other things. Now we talk about the next point, third, the receiver decodes the message and decides if feedback is needed. Decoding. What is decoding? The receiver's process of translating the message into a meaningful form. Actually, the receiver just receive the message in the form of a message and try to understand it and try to just take what the meaning of this particular message. And this particular understanding process, that is called a decoding process. In decoding process, what happened? Decoding process, he tried to understand the message properly, and then he incorporate his or her knowledge in that, and then try to complete a message and what is exactly the message is saying. Then what happened? A few barriers could include in the credibility and listening, and the emotional barriers to the communication. Sometimes what happen, it is if the language, if the particular person to whom you are sending a message, he is not well in a language, he is not well emotionally, well personality, and he is not listening your message properly, so definitely it may arise a problem, it may hamper your communication as well. Next, we talk about the feedback. After decoding the message, the receiver may give the feedback to the sender. So this is what means, it is a one process. When sender send a message runs through the channel, and after the channel he reach to the receiver receive the message, decode the message and understand the message, and at the end he revert the response, or the response is called feedback. It is very important, because if he understand your message properly or he respond accordingly, then definitely that means is that your communication is success. Communication is called two-way process. One side receiver send the message, or sender send the message and receiver receives the message, and receiver revert the feedback at the end. So if this particular process complete, that is called a complete process of communication. Filtering is to the process of altering the disturbing information to the project a more favorable images. To help the eliminate filtering, treat errors or as a learning experience further than as an opportunity to blame and criticize employees. Keep in mind, whenever we are not putting a proper feedback, then definitely it is not going to be a perfect way. So what to do? We have to listen carefully, and whenever we are just interacting with the audience, we should just ensure this particular aspect, and they are familiar with the language, they are comfortable in the physical mode or the technical, the particular audio visual medium you are using, they are perfectly working. So with the help of these basic things, you can just ensure that you are just discussing, you are sharing the information properly. Thank you.